Welcome back to Vibes and Ventures, everyone. I'm Drew Vibes, and today we're tackling a topic that's been on my mind for a while, and I know it resonates with many in our community. We're talking about why Caribbean men, specifically, often struggle to scale their businesses here in Canada. It's a nuanced conversation, and I'm really excited to get into it with our amazing panelists, Leah and Crystal.
And it's not for lack of hustle, right? Because if there's one thing I know about our brothers, it's that they will work tirelessly. They're dedicated. But there seems to be a disconnect between that raw effort and actually seeing exponential growth. Like they're always busy, but are they growing at the rate they could be? That's the question.
Exactly, Leah. And I think a huge part of it, from my observations, stems from this deep-rooted tendency to do everything alone. Like literally everything. From the accounting to the customer service to the production to the delivery, it's all on their shoulders. And while that speaks to an incredible level of self-sufficiency, it's just not sustainable for scaling a business.
You hit the nail on the head, Crystal. The one man army mentality. I've seen it with barbers, with contractors, with caterers. They're so good at their craft, but they're trapped in their craft. They can't step away to actually strategize or delegate because they are the business. And it creates a ceiling, doesn't it?
A very low ceiling, Drew. It's almost like a badge of honor sometimes to say, oh, I built this from the ground up by myself, which, yes, is commendable. But then you ask, okay, what happens if you get sick? What happens if you want to take a vacation? What happens if you just want to grow past serving 20 clients a month to 200? The answer is usually, I can't.
And it goes back to that cultural upbringing too, you know? Many of our parents or grandparents, when they came here, they had to be self-sufficient. They had to figure it out because there wasn't a safety net. And that resilience, while amazing, sometimes translates into this idea that asking for help or outsourcing is a sign of weakness, or that no one can do it as good as you can. Which, let's be real, is often true for the craft itself, but not for every single operational task.
That's a powerful point, Crystal. That cultural legacy. It's a double-edged sword. It gives you the drive, but it can also limit your vision. And this leads us perfectly into the next big challenge, the distinct lack of systems in so many of these businesses. If you're doing everything alone, by default, you're probably not systematizing anything.
Absolutely. Systems are often seen as this big corporate thing, like, oh, that's for Fortune 500 companies. But a system can be as simple as having a clear process for how you onboard a new client, or how you track your inventory, or even how you respond to emails. It's about creating repeatable, predictable steps that anyone could follow, not just you.
Exactly. I mean, think about a restaurant. If the head chef is the only one who knows how to make that signature dish, what happens if they call in sick? That's a huge problem. But if there's a recipe, a clear system for prep and cooking, then another chef can step in and the quality remains consistent. That's what we're talking about, even for a one-person operation initially. You need to document your processes.
Right. It moves the business from being entirely dependent on one person's presence and memory to being a machine that can operate smoothly, regardless of who's at the controls. And for many, that transition feels like a loss of control, when in reality it's gaining immense leverage and freedom.
It's freedom, truly. Imagine a barber who has a system for booking, for client reminders, for taking payments, for cleaning their station. They spend less time on those mundane tasks and more time cutting hair, or even better, training an apprentice, or planning for a second chair or a second location. That's how you scale. You build the predictable steps, and then you multiply them.
And I think part of why systems are neglected is also because of that initial bootstrap mentality. You start with nothing, you figure it out day by day, you're just trying to survive. So the idea of sitting down to map out a system feels like an indulgence, or something for later, when you're big. But later often never comes if you don't build that foundation early on.
That's a cycle that's hard to break out of, isn't it? And speaking of things that feel like an indulgence, or an expense rather than an investment, let's talk about the fear of investing in marketing, specifically digital marketing and websites. This is a huge barrier for so many Caribbean entrepreneurs.
Oh, tell me about it. It's almost like, if my product is good enough, people will find me. And sure, word of mouth is powerful in our communities, it always has been. But in 2024, if you're not online, you barely exist to the wider market. Your website is your storefront, your digital brochure, your 24/7 sales pitch. Skipping it is like trying to sell in a mall with no sign and no open doors.
Exactly. And it's not just having a website, it's investing in effective marketing. Social media ads, search engine optimization, email campaigns. These are not luxuries anymore. They are necessities for reaching beyond your immediate circle. I know so many brothers who rely solely on Instagram posts or word-of-mouth referrals. And while that gets you started, it won't get you to the next level.
And there's this perception of cost, right? Like, oh, a website's expensive. Marketing agencies charge too much. But they don't always connect that expense to the potential return on investment. They'll spend thousands on equipment or inventory, but balk at a few hundred or 1,000 for a professional online presence that could bring in 10 times that in new customers.
It's a mindset shift that needs to happen. Viewing marketing as an accelerator, not just an expense. Because if you have an amazing product or service, but nobody knows about it, how can you complain about not growing? It's like having a secret gold mine. You know it's there, but if you don't tell anyone, who's going to come dig for it?
And for some, it's also about trust, I think. They've heard stories or maybe had a bad experience with a web designer who took their money and delivered nothing. So there's a guard up. But that's where vetting, getting recommendations, and understanding what you're actually paying for becomes crucial. A reputable agency can truly transform your reach.
You've hit on such important points, all of you. The doing it alone mentality, the lack of robust systems, and the reluctance to invest in proper marketing and a digital presence. These aren't just isolated issues. They're interconnected, forming a web that can trap a business owner in a cycle of stagnation, despite their incredible work ethic.
It's like building a beautiful house but only ever working on the foundation and never putting up the walls or the roof. You can keep digging that foundation, but the house isn't getting any bigger or more functional until you build upwards. And building upwards requires a different kind of effort than just digging deeper.
And it really comes down to realizing that you don't have to carry the entire load yourself. There are resources, there are experts, there are strategies that can help lighten that burden and propel your business forward. It's about working smarter, not just harder.
Precisely. And for our listeners, if you're hearing this and thinking, okay, I recognize myself or my business in these struggles, but where do I even start? I want to throw out a recommendation. If you're serious about tackling these challenges, especially around building out systems and getting your marketing right, you really should check out dtlagency.online.
Yes, dtlagency.online. They specialize in helping businesses, particularly those looking to scale, by providing structured solutions for their operations and giving them that much-needed digital footprint. It's about more than just a website, it's about a comprehensive strategy that ties everything together. They can help you identify those bottlenecks and build out those crucial systems you might be missing.
Think of it as having a partner who understands the modern business landscape and can translate your vision into actionable steps. They can take the stress of how do I get more clients or how do I streamline this process off your plate so you can focus on what you do best. It's an investment in your future, not just an expenditure.
Exactly. They can help you move from being the sole operator to the visionary leader of your business. That's the mindset shift we need to encourage. It's about embracing collaboration, embracing technology, and understanding that smart investments pave the way for sustainable growth. So again, that's dtlagency.online. Go check them out.
And remember, scaling doesn't mean losing the soul of your business. It means creating more opportunities, reaching more people, and building a legacy that can truly thrive, even when you're not personally overseeing every single detail. It's about building something bigger than yourself.
For real, don't let pride or the fear of change hold you back from achieving the true potential of your hustle. You've put in the work, now let's build the framework to support that hard work and take it to the next level.
Powerful words from Leah and Crystal, as always. This has been a really vital conversation, and I hope it sparks some serious thought and action for many of you listening. Remember, your business deserves to flourish. Don't be afraid to evolve. That's all for today, folks. Big love, and we'll catch you on the next one.